Thank you for that. Joining me now is retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent Rob D'Amico. Rob, appreciate your time. I first want to start with the report that the House Intelligence Committee is expected to receive a classified briefing about these mysterious drones. A classified briefing. That might raise some eyebrows. Why does this briefing need to be classified?
Well, actually, I thought the same thing. I ran the FBI's counter drone unit. We did not really have classified systems in there. But what people don't know is Congress dictates if they want a classified or unclassified briefing. It's not the agencies. So it's the Congress that is saying, hey, we want classified, which I think just fuels the fire of all these conspiracies. Like, oh, it's classified. They're not going to be able to tell us. But I think that's more on the congressman having some cover. So if they don't hear what they want to hear, they can just say, well, we can't talk about it. It was classified, but they're the ones who asked for it that way. I think the agencies would have been more than happy to give an unclassified briefing that they could then go out and talk about.
Right. I absolutely believe that it will add fuel to the fire. I mean, what are your thoughts of just what's been going on now for 4 weeks? I mean, obviously, people are concerned. I would be concerned if I look up outside in the evening and I see, several drones just kind of hovering over my home. And then you have the federal government saying nothing to see here. Everything is fine. There's no national security threat that we know of. Do you think the federal government, first of all, is doing enough not only just to reassure the public, but also in terms of trying to get to the bottom of this quickly?
Well, I think it's, as people in Britain call it, a wind up. I think it started with first FAA changed the ability to fly drones at night. They made it easier. Before it wasn't allowed. You had to have a waiver. They just said 400 feet and below, lights on, and you had to have visual contact with your drone if you were controlling it. That caused more drones to be flown at night. I think as soon as politicians started telling people to get out and look for drones, that's where a lot of misidentification started happening. I did it when I first got into the counter drone business. I thought planets, I thought airplanes were drones, and my guys were telling me, no, boss, that's a planet, that's a plane. It gets really tough. But then I think as everything started spinning up, more people started flying drones, either looking for drones or trying to add to the chaos. And now it's just a composite of all that, and the conspiracy theories getting thrown in there are just really making a bad mix-up. And I think the government was behind this. I think it wasn't on purpose. I think they didn't think it was a big deal. And the more and more media attention that came to this and outrage from folks, I think they're caught behind, and now they're getting systems up there to at least talk about what they're seeing or what they're doing.
What would you want to know if you were in this classified briefing, Rob? What would you be asking?
Well, again, there's certain systems out there around airports, around military bases that do track drones. Do you have any information from those systems to show what drones are out there and about how many? A lot of the areas in New Jersey are rural that aren't covered by any of these systems. So hopefully they're putting systems there. But I would start looking really into, can you tell us how many drones legally are flying? Because most of these are legal. And then if they start looking at other things, can you absolutely tell us that you have no military things going on? And I don't think the military, if they did have something, if it started causing this, I think they'd shut it down immediately. But the biggest thing now is this nuclear warhead, which in my former team, the hostage rescue team, one of our missions was nuclear takeback. So we are trained in how to look for nuclear devices or warheads. And this is absolutely not the way, because when you do that, you don't want to cause panic. You do it through vehicles that bring in air and do sensors. You have people walking. You don't need drones to fly around. You can drive. You can use regular manned aircraft that have sensors on them. So you don't need to do this for nuclear devices. But the conspiracy side of it, again, it's going to get fueled by, quote, this classified brief.
I'm sorry, nuclear warheads, is this part of what you've been hearing online or chatter that these drones might be carrying them?
No, they're looking for them. The rumor online is there's a nuclear warhead missing from Ukraine or nuclear material out there for a dirty bomb, and that these drones are looking for them is what's being spun right now. And that is absolutely not the case, because that's not how you look for those.
In terms of your concerns, I mean, because there's so many of these flying objects out there now, what's your main concern right now? Is it potential, accidents in the air as a result?
Not accidents. My biggest concern is someone shooting, or like your news spoke of, the lasers. People are now being told to go out and shoot, or put lasers on them, and that's going to be, with all the misidentification, someone's going to either shoot a manned aircraft, or someone's going to shoot at an actual drone and miss it, and that bullet is going to land somewhere and it could hit somebody. So I think the chaos of that, and that's the last thing you want to do, is shoot at a drone, point a laser at it, because 99% of the time, either you're going to miss and that bullet's going to go somewhere, or it's a manned aircraft, and then you're going to have bigger issues.
And that's why the public needs a lot more information than what the federal government is giving right now. Rob D'Amico, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.